A massive opportunity to end on a strong note, not only for the Mountaineers, but for freshman quarterback Scotty Fox. We're going to talk about it here today on Between Eers. Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Between Eers. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button here on our YouTube page. Add West Virginia on a side. We've got shows every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we have the Mountaineer Postgame Show coming up following the action of every football and men's basketball game. Our final Walk Thru GameDay Show is already up and out. We put it out a day early because of Thanksgiving, also because of the Mountaineers coming off a bye week, so we'll give us an extra day to let people indulge on that. So go check that out, breaking down that matchup between West Virginia and Texas Tech, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here today as well. And it's been a pretty strong month or so for the true freshman Scotty Fox, and I don't think you can talk highly enough about him and what he's done. I understand the numbers don't necessarily jump off the page. The win-loss record isn't tremendous, but he has completely changed the dynamic of this offense. He's given this team hope, not only for this season, but for the future as well. And this is going to be a massive test for him. And this offense, of course, I mean, you look at across the numbers, there's really not one area that this Texas Tech defense really struggles in. They are elite in every single category. You maybe want to look at red zone defense. I believe they rank 85th or somewhere in that ballpark, but they've only been allowing 20 red zone opportunities this season. So they don't let you get down there very often. So there's not very much to pick from. But the one thing that Scotty can do is play a clean game and give his team a chance to win. And if he can do that, or at least do his part, his 1/11th, as they say, then I think that puts Rich Rod's confidence at a whole other level with him moving into 2026, because you're doing it against one of the best teams and one of the best defenses in the entire nation. Texas Tech is one of the best run defenses that we've seen over the past decade. Not just this season. This season, it's not even close. But over the past 10 years, it's been one of the better run defenses that we've seen in the entire sport. So to think that West Virginia is going to find any sort of success on the ground this week, it's probably a little bit far-fetched. The Mountaineers have really struggled to run the football. They've done it here and there, but it's not been consistent. You also lose Dior Hubbard this week to an injury. So now you're down to Sincere Bowers. You're to Curtis Jones, who's going to be splitting some time at running back and Bandit, probably more so running back this week because of the short numbers. Clay Ash may be involved. Tyler Jacklich could get some action. So your really watered down running back room is going to be tested this week against a very stout run defense. And there's only been 3 teams this season that have gone over 100 yards on the ground against this defense. And Utah, who's one of the better run defenses in the country, they got there, but it took them a ton of rushing attempts. They averaged under 4 yards per carry. So this is a team that's really going to make you earn it. That front seven is really talented. They're athletic. They're strong up front, and they also tackle well. So this is going to be a challenge to get anything going on the run game, in the run game sort of things, and to balance something out. But when you don't have a rushing attack, you've got to be very smart and very calculated with those deep shots that you take downfield. We've seen West Virginia do it in the last few weeks, especially with Scotty at quarterback, but you got to be careful, because you can't just afford Texas Tech an extra opportunity with the football. So you don't go broke making a profit. Check downs are okay. Living underneath is okay. Throwing the football away is okay. And this is a type of game where you hope Scotty has one of those 300-yard performances like he did against Arizona State, like he did against TCU. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. And I'm not saying that it's not the end of the world for this game, but just for him mentally, in his confidence, the coaching staff's confidence, you're going to have to put up 400-plus yards to win this game. Now, is it 350 through the air and 50 on the ground? Maybe. But, again, that's not a guarantee that you're going to have that type of success through the air. It's a very good defensive secondary. It's a good linebacking unit, one of the best linebacking units in the country. So nothing's going to come easy. But the one thing you want to see from Scotty in this game is for him to make the right decisions, to not be rushed, to not panic, to just stand in there and look like the quarterback that looks like he's got a few starts under his belt. And if you can do that, then you're going to feel pretty good about where he's heading into 2026. Now, if he has a bad day and for some reason he puts the ball in harm's way, turns it over two or three times, it's not to say that they're going to, you know, change the plan and all of a sudden say, "Oh, got to go get a transfer quarterback in the transfer portal." But it's going to make things a little less positive heading into the offseason. And you don't want to have that happen, even against an elite defense, an elite team. You at least want to go in with a pretty good feeling about where you are and the progress that you've made. You don't want to erase the last three or four starts that he's had by putting up an absolute stinker and completing 52% of his passes, throwing three interceptions, going for 140 yards. Like, you don't want one of those types of days. You just got to protect the football, live to see another down, and avoid the mistakes that can be catastrophic, like he had in the backyard brawl. That second interception, dude, you're wrapped up, you're going down. It's about to be fourth down. Just live to see another down. Don't throw it as you're being spun around down to the ground just to try and get a throw off. When in reality, that's a low percentage throw. You can't do that. Just live to see the next down. And I think in large part, he has done that. He's improved in that area significantly. But this could be one of those games where that reemerges, it pops back up because you're trying to do so much, knowing that every time you have the ball, there's going to be a lot of pressure to go down and score. Because in reality, this is an offense in Texas Tech that's it's going to put a lot of points up. They're going to move the ball, and you've got to be able to match scores with them, or else you're not going to have a chance. So in the grand scheme of things, knowing all that, you still have to play within yourself. You still have to play smart, but there's going to be times where you can so-called put the ball in harm's way. Maybe it's a fourth down opportunity. It's 4th and 10, and it's at your, at Texas Tech's, or if it's fourth and goal from the 6 yard line, there might be a time there where you may just have to force the ball into the end zone into coverage and try and hope that something happens. But you can't have those situations happen in 1st and 10 at your own 32 and give them a short field, stuff like that. Just avoid the catastrophic mistakes. And if he does that, that's going to go very far for this offense in not only this game, but for next year. It's a statement opportunity for Scotty Fox to put his foot in the ground and say, I'm the guy. There's no need to go and think about having to spend big time dollars in the transfer portal and getting a guy to come in here. They're going to try and probably bring in another quarterback anyways, just for numbers purposes. But putting together a clean, strong performance where he gives this team a chance to win will go very, very far in saying that he's the guy. And look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't think it's remotely close. I think Scotty Fox is the guy. Khalil Wilkins has some really talented traits. He can run the football well. I think he's a better thrower than most people realize. He's probably going to get better at that. We can all assume. I think Max Brown's got some talent, but I don't know if it's anywhere near the ceiling of Scotty Fox. And that's pretty much it out of the guys that are coming back. Now, Nico obviously hasn't officially entered the transfer portal, but we can all expect that to happen. The writing's kind of on the wall there. I mean, there's no point in bringing back Nico. I mean, there's just not. I mean, Scotty is a guy that you can build with into the future. He better fits this offense by a mile. I mean, we've said it for a long time that Nico may not necessarily be a square peg in a round hole into this offense, but it's not a perfect fit by any stretch of the imagination. He lacks the athleticism, the upper end of athleticism. He is an athlete. He can do some things, but he's not the athlete that Scotty Fox is. He's not the athlete that Khalil Wilkins is, or even Max Brown for that matter. it just doesn't make sense to bring Nico back. It doesn't, unless he understands, hey, you're going to take a back seat and mentor this kid. And that just doesn't make sense for Nico, doesn't make sense for WVU. It just makes sense for both to go their own ways. And at the same time, I think we can all appreciate what Nico did during his time in Morgantown. I think both things can be true. You can appreciate what he did, but also realize that it's time for him to go elsewhere and do something there. Because I think what West Virginia can do with Scotty Fox is he can do some special things. I mean, we've already seen 300-yard performances from him as a true freshman. I mean, imagine when they get a run game, when they get some protection, when they get more playmakers at the receiving and tight end spots. This thing's going to get much, much better. It's going to be a high potent offense that's a balanced attack, and you'd probably just have a higher ceiling, I think, with Scotty than any other quarterback on this roster. And I don't even think it's probably. I think it's by far the highest ceiling that you have as an offense moving forward. So go out there, put it together a clean game, give your team a chance, make a statement, put your foot in the ground, say this is my team moving forward. And if that's what happens and the scoreboard doesn't end up what you want it to be, that's okay. You know, I know people aren't into moral victory and all that, but in this type of season that it's been, the injuries, the schedule, all the newcomers, it's just a lot of adversity. And if you can go out there and put up a strong performance against the number 5 team in the country, that'll go a long way into the future. So let me know your guys' thoughts here in the comment section on YouTube about Scotty Fox, what your thoughts have been on him so far, what the program's future is like with him being the guy leading the ship offensively. And I'll be sure to chit-chat back and forth with you on the channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here at West Virginia on SI. Go back and watch our Walk Thru GameDay Show preview, breaking down that matchup in its entirety against Texas Tech, our final one of the season. And we'll be back here in a few days with the Mountaineer Postgame Show, recapping that action in the final game of the season. Thank you guys for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and take care.